Hello guys, welcome back to the video. My name is Bree, and as you can see from the title of this video, I've just got done doing a 1-week fasting challenge. No food, nothing but fruit juices for an entire week. So let's get into it. So the first question you may be asking is, why do something like this? Why not eat? Why fast? And particularly, why fast with fruit juices? Typically, people, when they do a fast, it's just with water. But I personally have tried water fast. They're a little bit too uncomfortable for me. With the fruit juice, you get the benefit of the hydration, the nutrition, and allowing your body to have that break to fully flush out your system without the monotonous nature of just drinking water over and over and over again. So a large reason why I did this was based on some of the research that I've done. A couple of inspirational figures that you might want to look up or look into if this is something that you're interested in is the late great Dr. Sebi. Rest in peace, rest in power. He was a great man who basically used herbs and food as a way to heal people as opposed to taking like pharmaceutical medications. His work is very interesting, very intriguing. He's got cases where he's cured cancer, HIV, AIDS, diabetes, all of these big diseases that the mainstream media might tell you are incurable. He has he's actually won court cases proving that he was able to cure these diseases through plant medicine and through diet. The second source of inspiration, who is a very close second, if not maybe even a little bit higher up than Dr. Sebi for me, is Yaqui Awaken. Or if you're wanting to look him up on YouTube, his channel is Yaqui TV. He's a master herbalist. He's another man who's got just track record of him curing people of diseases that your average doctor or medical professional would say are incurable. Again, HIV, AIDS, cancers, diabetes, high blood pressure, like you name it. I have seen cases that this man has cured these people with his herbal tactics. And the reason why I'm also doing just the fruit juices as opposed to the water is because of Yaqui. A big advocate for fruit and eating fruit as a means to help detox your body and allowing your body to heal. And he often says that the fruits coupled with the herbs allows your body to go through its natural healing process. That's a big thing that both Dr. Sebi and Yaqui kind of preach about, is the body's ability to heal itself. If given the right tools and the right set of circumstances, your body is divinely made, right? God created your body to be a self-correcting mechanism. And as long as you're not putting things into your body constantly that are blocking your ability to heal yourself, then the body starts to go through a natural healing process. Another source of inspiration, another book that I've read that was really influential on me is A Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. That's a really good book, especially as a woman who's trying to like tap into her feminine energy, who's trying to become more feminine and trying to understand maybe what that even looks like. That book has been a great guide. She's another great teacher who really pushes the natural plant-based lifestyle and using herbalism as a mode to heal the body and to get things regulated. So that's another great resource. So here's what I did during this fast, right? I only drank fruit juices, and with each juice, I only used one type of fruit. So for example, I wasn't like mixing apple and orange and watermelon and like making like these kind of intricate concoctions. It was just, if I had a juice that was watermelon, it was all watermelon. If I had a cucumber juice, it was all cucumber. If I had orange juice that I was juicing cold press, all orange. That's another thing. I didn't really want to mix and match different fruits. I'm trying to make things as easeful as possible for my body so that it truly has enough energy to kind of help start healing itself, essentially. And another little tip, if you are going to do something like this, optimally, you want to buy fruits that are seeded. So if you're going to do a grape juice, you want to make sure you get grapes that are seeded. If you're going to do a melon juice or a watermelon juice, make sure the watermelon has seeds in it, black seeds. And the reason for that is the presence of seeds just means that the fruit has less genetic modification done to it. So if you have a watermelon that has black seeds in it, it's less touched by man's hands and less altered. You just want to get stuff that's as close to God's creation as possible. I am a firm believer that nature makes no mistakes, and everything that God created is pure and beautiful. And when men kind of start to tinker around and change things for profit, mostly for profit and convenience, then you start to lose a little bit of the essence of what that fruit was originally meant to be. So buy seeded if you can, and also of course organic if you can. I know the organic is more expensive, and I personally did not buy everything organic just because of that fact. But if you've got the means, organic is the way to go, because obviously that means less pesticides and junk on the outside of your fruit that you have to wash off. Another point to that, since I did get non-organic fruit, you want to make sure that you're washing your fruit properly before you eat it. You could either buy a fruit wash from the store, which I don't usually do because they're expensive, or you can soak your fruit about 30 minutes before you juice them in either a vinegar bath or a baking soda bath. Both of these help to kind of remove the oily pesticides that might reside on the outside of fruit. All right, so before I go into the day-to-day breakdown of what this fast looked like for me, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a before picture of what my body was looking like. Obviously, I'm not really that out of shape. That's not really the purpose of me doing this fast. I don't really have any goals to lose weight or anything like that. It's more so eternal digestive issues that I'm trying to work out, as well as, like I said, I have a lot of skin issues that I would like to help clear up, and of course the brain fog and kind of general fatigue that I face on a daily basis. So if you want to see the before and after, just stay tuned till the end of the video. I'll go ahead and show a comparison then. Okay, and before I go into my weekly breakdown, let me just say this as a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I don't have any sort of licensing or anything like that. What I'm doing here is solely for me. It's what I've personally decided that I think that my body can handle. If this is something you're considering trying, you might want to consult a doctor beforehand just to make sure that you're healthy enough to go through a process like this, because it can be strenuous on your body if you're facing really serious health issues. But I didn't consult my doctor. This is my third time doing a week-long fast with the fruit juices. I know what to expect. I know what my body can handle. But if this is something that's a new concept for you, definitely consult a doctor beforehand. All right, so let's get into the daily. So first off, I made a little chart here. I'm going to show you. This is basically everything I juiced over the course of this week. So basically every day as I was doing this, I did take little notes and documented how I was feeling. So I'm going to go ahead and go through that with you guys. So the first day I felt was the toughest, because at this point you're breaking a routine. You're gonna miss the feeling of chewing things. You're gonna miss texture. You're gonna miss heat to your food. And then of course, especially if you have a family, I'm the only one doing this juice fast. I have to make breakfast, lunch, and dinner for my kids, dinner for my husband. That was probably the most difficult thing. And watching everyone around you eat and enjoy the food that I have to actually make. All right, so here's what I wrote about day 2. Today, I woke up feeling very energetic, even before I had taken in a juice. I felt like today was going to be a day to get things done. There are hunger pains here in the morning, and my stomach feels empty, but my mind is clear and my mood is elevated. I was in no rush in the morning to get my juice, even though it was already pre-squeezed. I found myself making healthier meals for my children as well, because it didn't really make sense for me to be eating all these cleansing foods for my body and then feeding my kids the foods that I'm basically trying to cleanse myself from. So, day 2, high energy. I felt very optimistic, like I was in a good mood. And like I said, I felt very like empty and light. And that might sound like a bad thing, but it was actually a very like nice feeling. So here's what I have to say about day 3. As of today, I have felt no discomfort. It's been a very easy process so far, at least as far as this morning goes. Pre-juicing the watermelon juice at the end of the previous day makes for an easier morning. Only thing that's been going on is a lot of mucus has been coming up, both through my nose and through coughing. So, the third day was very eliminative. So, like I said, I was coughing. Like I wasn't sick, or I didn't even feel sick, but I had this like cough, and there was like a lot of, TMI alert, whatever. A lot of phlegm was coming up, and I found myself having to cough and spit, and my nose was running, and this is a part of it. I don't know if most people know this, but when you have mucus come out, that's white blood cells, oftentimes like carrying things out of the body that aren't supposed to be in there. So this was a sign, my first sign that my body had actually started some sort of detox process. The nose running, the mucus was coming up. So day 3 was a lot of that. And then this is what I wrote at the end of day 3. The day is going smoothly with little discomfort. The only uncomfortable thing is a lot of mucus seems to be coming up through both my nose and throat. If this feeling goes on and I don't feel worse, I could see myself doing this for much longer. All right. So then on the 4th day, I actually made some coconut milk from scratch. I think it was like 32 ounces. And about halfway through drinking that cup, like my stomach was like, that's enough. You've had enough. But I kept drinking I ended up drinking the entire thing, and it made my stomach hurt. Like, it wasn't like a bad stomach ache, but I definitely felt nauseous. And I think it was because I drank too much, and the coconut milk was very rich. Like I said, I had made it from scratch myself. And yeah, that was like the first time I had any discomfort during the experience. What I documented here is the coconut-induced stomach aches actually turned out to be a good lesson. And during this experience, I learned to look at signs and messages. And the message here is that when your body doesn't feel well, your mind doesn't. I noticed a definite and very succinct lack of patience, as well as a worsening mood when my stomach or body is not feeling well. So even though this coconut milk experience was kind of negative and I was feeling bad like for the better part of the morning, it kind of taught me a lesson of like, when your body isn't feeling well, it directly kind of affects your mood. Because all throughout the whole process, I was very upbeat. Me and my kids were chilling, we're hanging out, we're having fun. But I noticed when I wasn't feeling good inside of my body, I had a lack of patience. I was more irritable. Little things that I would have easily brushed off otherwise were like really upsetting to me. And I was like, wow, there's a real tangible correlation between like feeling dis-ease in your body, feeling bad in your body, and then that affecting your mood. So I thought that was a very interesting takeaway from that day. So the days following that flowed pretty smoothly. I didn't really take any deep notes about the experience, because the general feeling of what I was going through the juicing is I didn't really feel too much discomfort hunger-wise. Whenever I felt hungry, I would just drink a juice. And this was fulfilling enough to keep me going. And this experience, it wasn't just about the physicality. It was also about like the mentality of it, and also the spirituality. I am trying to become more of a spiritually, I don't know if you want to say enlightened, but I feel like everybody has this kind of pure essence of themselves, whether you want to call that like God or your inner self, your true self, your soul, your spirit, whatever. I feel like everybody has that inside of them, and that part of themselves, the pure aspect of themselves, is constantly sending messages to your mind, telling you how to move, what decisions to make. That's looking at every situation and decision you make through a lens that's kind of like clear, that's clear. And I felt like as a child, like that voice was so easy to kind of hear and understand, and kind of in order to keep me kind of moving on the right path. But as I've gotten older, it feels like that voice has gotten muddled. And so big part of why I'm doing this as well is so that that voice can get louder, so that I can start like moving in the direction that I really want to go, and achieve and manifest and create, a beautiful life for me and my family. That's like really the root of it. I feel like this is a great first step, and for me it's only the beginning. All right, so this is what I wrote at the very end of this challenge, what I've kind of learned and what I'm wanting to set forth the intention for the rest of the year. So here we go. It says, eating right, exercising regularly, detoxing the body, and in a way, washing away old habits and replace with the new ones. I feel like I've been building this puzzle of what I want my life to look like, and I have all the puzzle pieces laid out. I've just been too afraid to put them together. But now is the time. So I started this challenge on the first day of spring, and though the calendar recognizes January 1st as the new year, I'm using this as the first day of my new year, in alignment with nature, which feels more correct. Because if you think about it, January 1st, where I live, is the middle of winter, a period of time in which everything in nature is asleep. Why birth new ideas or concepts in a time when the very world around you is in a state of rest? It's no wonder I failed to keep up with resolutions in the past. The energy of everything around me was saying to rest. But spring is a time to birth, when the flowers awaken and bloom, when the animals rise from hibernation, when the soil is ready to take seed and nourish and allow it to bloom into new life. So that's what I'm doing, sowing my seeds so that a new version of me can grow. So this has been a very positive experience for me. I enjoyed it, and if the whole juicing process wasn't so tedious, it's a very tedious process, but I feel like if all the juices were just kind of like handed to me whenever I needed them, I could do this for maybe 2-3 weeks. It's been a nice experience, and I could feel the change in my body. I could feel the change in my mood and my energy. I feel more open, and like I said, my body feels a lot lighter. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and show you the before and after pics here. I don't personally ever weigh myself, just because I generally don't care about the weight aspect of my person. I always rely more on how I'm feeling, and there is a correlation with me being heavier and feeling less happy than I am when I'm lighter. But I don't really keep too close track of that. It's just not something that's important to me. It's always been more about how I feel internally. And yeah, after this experience, I feel great. So this juicing is just the first part of a challenge that I'm laying out for myself. What I'm basically doing is 1 week of juicing, 1 week of nothing but fruit, and then a third week of nothing but raw foods. And then after that, I'm going to convert into just full veganism. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I'm going to document any more of this process, Maybe I'll do a full scope review after I'm done. But yeah, I would definitely suggest, like I said, check out Dr. Sebi, some of his lectures on YouTube. Check out Yaqui Awakened. He does lectures almost every week, talking about the body. And when I tell you, I learned so much about like how the body functioned from that man. Like, it's one thing to hear some YouTuber or some content creator go, "Oh yeah, try CMOS because it's great." And then they don't tell you like why you should actually try this stuff or what effect it actually has on your body. Yaqui will give you a herb and he'll tell you on which body functions it specifically interacts with, and then he'll go in depth on how that actual body part works. He'll say, okay, it goes into the stomach and the stomach acid does this. And like I said, I've never understood. You have a general idea of how your body works. You eat food, it goes down, gets digested, and then you poop it, pee it out. But it's so much more intricate than that. There's so many little like factors, and the body is like really this beautifully intricate like system. And he does an amazing job of explaining how these systems work and how the foods you eat and what you drink and what you intake how they affect the systems, right? In either a positive or negative way. So if you're really wanting, like, Yaqui will come on, I'm literally with a pad and pen, like, okay, it's like, it's really informative in a way that it's not just like, oh, somebody told me to take burdock root, and you're like, okay, what does that do? And you're like, I don't know, somebody just told me to take it because it's good for you. It's like, he's not that. He drills in and he tells you like what everything means and how it correlates. And then of course, like I said, Sacred Woman, Queen Afua, sacred feminine energy, like, beautiful book, very well written. And yeah, it's like, it's a beautiful book to read, to learn how to kind of orient your life to suit your being. Yeah, I know this was a lot of information, a lot of me talking, but be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm probably going to be doing a lot more health related content. Like I said, I'm planning on transitioning into being fully vegan, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a couple of videos about recipes or even trying out a couple of vegan restaurants here where I live in San Antonio. So if you'd like to see some of that content or any of our other kind of more family related content, just be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for our next video. Until then, peace out, man.